then you're not going to have like a share of, like equal share of feedback for everyone. So I'd like to check the most of students' capacity themselves to do feedback to each other. And then the second is, of course, students' fluency. It's always been a problem. There are just so many courses, so many Indonesian students like to say, what is it? You know, when they forget something, they say, what is it? They keep saying that, or they say, you know, things like that. And then students are curious in pronunciations, although are quite bad. Yeah? And then appropriate listening using expressions to show different structures of academic or speaking. Introducing self needs to be taught. Reading needs to be taught. And then opening a presentation needs to be taught. And some of them are still quite bad. So these are the four main problems I'm trying that I have seen in the first 3 years. So the plan is to have, after discussing with my collaborator, with my research collaborator, this is the plan to overcome the problems. So we focus on first informative speech, and then the practice technique. We will have pair and small group works before individual performance. In a sense that when they have practice with pair or with small group practice, then they can do it better, less anxiety when they do it on their own. And then feedback should be given through peer feedback during pair and small group works. And then video observation is used, and after video observation they can use the video to observe themselves. They are doing self-evaluation. And then the evaluation is speech progress, and then video taking tools, student smartphones. Because after I asked the students, everybody has a smartphone. The problem is only that the memory is not enough because they keep a lot of things in their smartphone. And handicap in individual phones, universities handicap. mirror. So I put indicators for all items. And then have extra sessions for understanding the rubrics. I have one session like for about 40 minutes for students to really understand that, to score that. And with the use of the video, we use the rubric and score the person in the video with that rubric to make sure that everybody understands what the rubric means. And then video training tools, skills to smartphones in pair and small groups. And then handicap in individual performance. So this is the result of the action. So those actions fell into two categories. The first one is very successful and the other one is fairly successful. Let me show you. So video text's performance is considered as very successful because students were able to observe, validate, and reflect their performance. Introducing rubrics earlier and more detailed is also very successful. Students were more focused and directed in giving feedback. Students also noticed what was expected from them because they see, oh, I have to do this based on the rubric, I have to do this. And then using the rubrics with our guidance is actually fairly successful because pair work was still needed. Yeah, I thought that after doing small group, pair work was not needed. Because during the evaluation, students needed to discuss. Yeah. And do I belong to this criteria? Do I belong to that criteria? They still need to have pair work for that. And self-evaluation is very successful because I think some students do not take self-evaluation seriously. They have the same content. I think they do it together. For example, students write the same thing for when they have to evaluate the body of the presentation. They simply wrote, I need to master the materials, without really saying which one, without really saying what to master, in what way they're supposed to master. They simply wrote that. Most students only wrote that. And then uploading videos to class Facebook so that they can have feedback from everyone. It's not really successful, it's just very successful. And this is quite silly because we have problem accessing Facebook in my university. Everybody has Facebook, but during school hour, it's blocked, so we cannot access the Facebook. So it's actually not fair realized, or he began to realize. And it was a terrible performance. And therefore, I need to improve many things. Now I know the importance of having video taping. Because at the beginning of the lesson, the students just feel like it's another video taping session. We're not going to do it like, we're not going to use it. The students are going to collect the videos and that's all. They don't do it wholeheartedly. But after this, after what I did in cycle 2, introducing the detailed object, they understand better. The third result is that video observation could improve the students' public speaking quality in performance. Let me show you the transcript of students' performance. And I'll show you this table on the left consists of the expressions reducing in the first performance and the expressions reducing in the second performance. For example, here let me show you AP stands for appropriateness. So I asked the students not to use okay too much because it sounds like informal. So in doing some presentations, it's simply doing this. But in the second performance, it seems like it's not good enough. So it says, let me introduce myself. It sounds a lot better. And then fluency. Let me show you fluency problems. So it has a lot of here. Everyone would get but she's doing better in her second performance. And then accuracy problem. For example, when she's trying to say university, she said university. She has that problem, but here she produced better pronunciation. Another accuracy, like when she's closing the presentation, say thank you, and that sounds like she's not really closing, it's hanging. So other than doing thank you, I asked her to observe the video. It should be a one intonation, so she changed that to thank you to show that at the end. And then beside those two findings, I also have two other findings which are important and which probably need further study. The first one is that students were vastly dependent on my feedback as a lecturer. They can do their own feedback, but they depended on the lecturer so much. For example, these students say that the category that the lecturer is more rating, that the lecturer is more competent and objective in giving feedback. And then the second opinion is that students are unsure of their own ability. And the third is students are unsure of their friend's ability. So like this one, this student is questioning himself, whether it does not require very sophisticated video performing tools. The students' smartphones, the students' videos, because they don't need to store that. But once they use that as evaluation, as part of their self-evaluation, they can delay that.